Great. Well, thank you all for coming. I know some of you chose to come here. Some of you have probably been forced to come here. But I will try and make it as relevant to you guys as possible. So I guess the key thing is, so I started a company called lastminute.com that maybe some of you have heard of, maybe not. But it went public, and it was quite a big thing. The main thing was it was fun. It was exciting, and it was a sort of, it was a hobby. Technology, you know, we're talking about digital skills, but the funny thing is I actually couldn't really program a computer. I did learn a programming language called BASIC, which was a very simple language when I was about 13, so I'm about the same age as many of you. I learned it. Why did I learn it? I actually just learned it. In those days, there were some very, very simple computers, and what you could do was really, but there weren't many games around, so people would learn to program a bit to program games. So I just loved gadgets. I don't know, how many of you love gadgets? You know, phones, electronics, yeah? So you love gadgets, right? So that's a good start for why you're here in digital, talking about digital technology and skills. So for me, it was that gadgets were my passion. I once had a watch. I mean, even way back, nowadays this is quite common, right? But way back in, God knows when I was at school in 1980 something, right? I had a watch which had an infrared transmitter on it, and could turn on and off my lights with my watch, which was kind of weird then. So I just had a dad who was in engineering and a techie, so he'd get me into this tech stuff. So anyway, so I learned how to program games. I wasn't particularly good at programming. I realized that I wasn't better than other people. I wasn't playing to my competitive advantage. So I guess one thing I did then, which I started doing later on in life, I partnered with a guy who was really good at maths. You know, I'm okay at maths, but this guy was really sort of a bit genius level. So I'd have some of the ideas for this little game when I was 13, and he'd make them really happen and do the hard stuff. Yeah, I think speaking to children is very satisfying. I think you get a great feeling for if you've if you've inspired a few people to do something differently. I think that's great. So there were some kids coming up afterwards with some good ideas who seemed more determined to pursue those paths as a result of that. And so if you made some modest changes, then it's a good place to start.
It's phenomenally important to inspire young people, and the best way to do that is to face to get someone as influential and as impactful as Brent to talk to young minds and help them set their career direction.
It was a great talk. You know, I'm really into tech. I really want to start my own business, so he's quite an inspiring guy.